Welcome to Campus Connection, the talk show that connects you to your RMU campus. It's a new year filled with new beginnings, new goals, and yes, new hosts. I'm Channing Frampton.
And I'm Emily Schaefer. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll be giving you an inspirational look into history with reflections on topics such as Martin Luther King Jr. and the Holocaust.
That's right, Emily. We've got a packed show today, including a live interview with Department Head Andrea France. She's live in the studio today with us, so what are we waiting for? Let's get right into it. This month, we're wishing Robert Morris, our university's inspiration, a happy birthday. Bobby Moe was born January 20th, 1734. Morris was an American merchant, and the signer of the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. Morris would have celebrated his 277th birthday if he were still here today.
And last Sunday, on the day of the big Steelers win, Myron Cope would have been 81. That's right. January 23rd was Cope's birthday. Some sports fans say it was fate that the Steelers had beat the Jets, securing another trip to the Super Bowl. The Steelers are trying to win number 7 against the Green Bay Packers. The big game will be held in Dallas this Sunday with kickoff at 6:25.
And now it's time to get into our first talk topic of the semester with reflection on New Year's resolutions. That's right. Something that I'm all too familiar with as a student here at Robert Morris. So, Emily, what did you do to get your New Year's resolution started this year?
I'm really bad at commitments and doing a lot of, doing anything new, really. So, basically, I just say something ridiculous that I know I'm not going to do anyway, like eating cotton balls.
Eating cotton balls. That's
pretty certain I can keep that one up. It's a pretty easy one to go with. But other than that, I'm starting out this show. This is something new for me, so that's something exciting.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's my first time hosting the show and being part of Campus Connection. It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Be here on this nice set and everything. I hope to get a job. That's my New Year's resolution for this year. I don't know. Any other seniors out there watching this show, you know what I'm talking about, getting a job, getting into grad school, something cool like that would be definitely a great thing to do. And how do you plan on staying healthier or carrying out your resolution?
Basically, it's not really a resolution, but more of just a thing I've been doing. I'm just trying to stop eating Easy Mac and ramen noodles and maybe, actually get a salad in Romo's.
Look at this. What's going on the screen right here? That looks pretty good right there.
The spaghetti is delicious, but yeah, I've cut down actually a lot on the, all the stuff that most college kids eat all the time.
Yeah.
It's just easy to, make some better decisions like, getting exercise and
take the stairs instead of the elevator, that kind of thing.
Ride up, walk down, sort of thing.
Exactly.
Or vice versa, just, getting enough sleep, all of that is really, really key to just being healthy in general.
Yeah, getting enough sleep is definitely an important thing to do when you're a college student, studying for classes and everything. And, that's New Year's resolutions for you. You got to stick to them and stay committed and everything and keep on being strong and everything. So hopefully there will be a lot of opportunities for us to try new things this year.
Yes.
All
right, well, those are all really great. Okay, those are all really great resolutions and ideas to start out the new year right. Every once in a while, someone comes around who is a true inspiration to everyone. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of those people. Martin Luther King Jr. Day was on January 17th, and here at Robert Morris, students and faculty alike went all out to commemorate this American hero. Heidi Hickel has a look back on all of these events.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Robert Morris held various activities on campus on Martin Luther King Monday. Some of these activities included race experiments, a justice march, and a dramatic play. All of these events were a way to help educate students on the role King played in society.
How about if you came in here and you sat down at a table that said whites only, and somebody told you to get up and move? Is anybody going to stand up for you? People not being able to live in the neighborhoods they want to because they got a different skin color? Homosexuals not having the same rights as straight people? That's going on today. If you want to know more about this, we're going to have a little peace march in just a little bit. Invite you all to join me and my friends out in the rotunda. We're going to march up to the Sewell Center, then there's a pretty cool little play going on called Show Me. written by your own Paul Spradley and directed by John Locke.
Basically, it started last Wednesday, and we had the opportunity for people to watch videos that were taking place up in Romo's Cafe on the closed channel circuit, Channel 98 on Robert Morris Television. We had the TV up on the third floor of the Nicholson Center that were showing some of Dr. King's most famous speech. And we also had a library display that was going on for the whole week. That led up to today. And we had the same things kind of going on today, but what was different was we had a Justice March that took place in the food court. So at 5:15, we had some people in the food court set some things up on the tables that said colored only and white only. Very controversial, but really it was just to cause people to think about, wow, I can't believe that this is even here. What does this mean? And we talked about it. We briefly broke down what that meant so that people weren't leaving angry, but they were participating just by being there. And then we took those same students, the same people that were kind of there in the food court, and said, come with us, we're going to march up to the Nicholson Center, we're going to march up to Sewell and watch this play Show Me, because what we're doing is we're trying to, in steps, show people that you don't want to be moderate, you don't want to be that person that's right in the middle.
RMU students, faculty, and alumni performed a play to demonstrate the roles of diversity today and how King has helped so many to overcome diversity.
The play was called Show Me, and the message was similar to other MLK plays in that we were looking to really get the audience to think about moving outside of their comfort zone. And sometimes people, they say that they care about their neighbor, they say that they're interested in justice for everybody, but they don't really act on it. They're more passive about it. And what Dr. King was basically saying is that when you're silent, it's actually doing more damage in the long run than when you're being the bad guy, so to speak. So we showed in this play the good guy, the bad guy, and the audience. The play was really focused on everyone that's in between. Like, what are you doing? Do you support what's going on? And if you do, then you're on Dr. I mean, if you don't support what's going on, then you're on Dr. King's side. Tell somebody, show it, speak up.
When people go, why do we know?
All of these events are just a small way in which our campus is reflecting on the things that King has helped to install in our lives today. I'm Heidi Hickel with Campus Connection.
Thank you, Heidi. I actually went to the play and was in the food court when they put up the signs for the segregation signs on the tables. It was pretty freaky, but the experiment was really uncomfortable, but definitely got the point across. And coming up after the break, Campus Connection is taking a look at the National Holocaust Memorial Day. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
G-morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you.
LUV, love you.
JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friend? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblums, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles.
Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
Welcome back to Campus Connection. Before the break, Channing mentioned National Holocaust Memorial Day. That falls on the 27th of this month. This is an important holiday that reminds us of the cruelty of the event, but also the incredible courage and perseverance people can have when put into terrible situations. What do you personally know about the Holocaust, Channing?
Well, the Holocaust, I know it was a really big deal back during World War II, and a lot of people were killed, and took place in Germany in the 30s into the mid-40s, with Hitler being the leader as far as the Holocaust is concerned.
I know a lot about the Holocaust.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took German for 5 years in high school.
Oh, wow.
And the teacher I had for the last 3 years, he was really into us, making sure we knew that the Holocaust wasn't something to be joked about or
Right.
forgotten. And he let us know just how the Germans felt about it today and everything. And I think it's really good, but I don't really think that they teach it in the same way that they should. I feel the way I learned about it in German class, that's the way you should learn about it in history class.
Right.
Where you realize that that's real people, you learn about the experiences, whereas in history class it's just a little paragraph
Right.
in your textbook that it's easy to overlook amongst everything that happened in World War II. This was obviously the biggest atrocity.
Definitely. Do you think this is something that could happen again? I mean, they say history has a way of repeating itself.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, it's happening right now. I mean, there's, we always hear about Darfur and all the genocide that's still happening. It's insane to think that in 2011 in 2011, it's terrible to think that we can still be responsible for that sort of thing, but
Definitely.
we still can.
Yeah, that's some pretty intense material, and I remember when I had a Holocaust unit in my senior year of high school, we collected paper clips that represented the number of people that were killed during the Holocaust, and we even visited the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. with my class, and it was a pretty interesting way to visit the Holocaust Museum and see some actual German sites of the Holocaust. But today we have RMU's very own Professor Andrea Franz. She is here to talk to us about her experience in Germany and the areas that the Holocaust took place. So welcome,
Hi.
Andrea.
Thanks, Channing. Nice to be here.
It's good to have you here. So tell us a little about you were in Germany
Yes.
as a student.
Actually, I've been there several times, but I did spend a semester in Germany as an undergraduate. I was a German major. This was back in the dark ages, in the middle 80s.
Right.
Then after spending 6 months there, then I came back and, of course, finished up my schooling and all of that kind of stuff. But it became very much like home for me in a lot of ways, and so I've returned a couple of times since that time, just as a tourist. For the most part, I've taken a couple of good, close friends over there. So yes, I have a lot of experience there.
Yeah. And you said you spent some time in the area around Dachau.
Yes, I did. Dachau is located actually just outside of Munich. And the first time I was there as a student, we traveled to Dachau as a class. And it was a very interesting thing because I was a young girl who really had next to no experience outside of Iowa. I was this little girl right off of out of the cornfield, and I didn't have a lot of experience with anything outside my own culture, and so I was really just very much adjusting to this new culture, this new language, all these people, and so when we went to Dachau, it was actually fairly early on in our semester, and I was really still sort of feeling overwhelmed. And when we arrived at Dachau, it was this dark, cold, foggy day.
Wow.
And you just could have heard a pin drop, it seemed, as we were walking up to this concentration camp. And it really set the mood for the whole day.
I'm sure.
I was stunned by everything that I saw there.
Very interesting.
And I think it's a very different thing to learn about the Holocaust from a book. Emily was talking about her experience with, reading about this and learning about it firsthand. It's a totally different thing to stand where the people who were incarcerated at Dachau, and many of whom died at Dachau, stand there and understand what they were going through. And you can't really understand it, but you can get a sense for that. And I think that's very, very important.
Yeah, definitely. And I see you got some pictures here from your...
Some of these are actually my pictures.
Oh, wow. So could you tell us a little bit...
If you see in that particular photograph, this is where the people who were incarcerated at Dachau had to stand, sometimes for hours on end in the cold, with next to nothing on. And it was always sort of an exercise in how well they conformed to what the people in charge, the Nazis in charge of the camp, were asking them to do. There were all manner of sort of psychological and physical means of torture at Dachau and other places, obviously. Auschwitz, Birkenau, you could go to all of those and understand. These here are some of the places where the barracks actually where people would sleep, and they often had about 18 inches, and 4 of them would have to sleep in the same place.
Wow.
No mattresses, no blankets, nothing like that. It was horrifying.
It must have been a crazy experience. Yes.
Horrifying, absolutely.
So if you had any one thing to say to someone traveling to Germany, what would it be?
Well, first and foremost, I think it is awfully important that we keep our history alive. You had mentioned before the break the importance of not repeating history and actually educating on these issues. I can't agree more. I think that we need to learn this, and I think everyone who goes to Germany, everyone who goes to Poland, gets a chance to see at least one of these concentration camps, because the only way we ever avoid that kind of atrocity is by making sure that everyone goes to see something like this and experience it. And if they can't get there, they need to go to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., which is pretty moving as well.
Definitely.
I mean, amazingly moving.
Alrighty, coming up after the break, we are going to
we're going to talk about entertainment.
We're going to talk about lighten the mood a little bit and talk about some entertainment. Stay tuned.
Very cool.
Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes Brahms!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblams, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the art!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
Well, if you're looking for entertainment this weekend, be sure to check out the show that has several RMU students and alumni performing on the professional stage. Pittsburgh Musical Theater is putting on Pittsburgh's latest production of Cats, the musical, by Andrew Lloyd Webber. I'm actually one of the members of the vocal minority for the show and can tell you firsthand that if you want to see some amazing dancers live, this is the show to see. Not only do these cats have amazing moves, but they can sing too. I'm not just talking about the alley cat sounds you hear at night. I mean, these people can really sing, and they can belt it out. Music comes along with the show, and check it out at the Byam Theater this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights.
This past week, the nominees for this year's Academy Awards were announced. Some of the films nominated for an Oscar are not much different from the Golden Globes. However, in the Best Picture category, The Black Swan is on the top of the list. Other films nominated are films like Inception, 127 Hours, Toy Story 3, and of course, The Social Network. Other categories for an Oscar include everything from costumes to screenwriting. Whether you're a movie buff or not, you won't want to miss this year's Academy Awards. They're hosted by James Franco and Anne Hathaway. Be sure to check it out on February 27th to see if your favorite picks take home an Oscar.
I sure wish I'd eaten something before the show today. I'm starving because, you know, if you ever get tired of the food on campus here or you just want something new, today's campus cooking segment has the answer for you. Check it out.
Welcome to Campus Cooking. I'm Chelsea, and today I'm going to be making my favorite meal. It's called Garlic Lime Chicken Fajitas, and it's inspired by this McCormick spices package. So, take all of your spices out. Throw them into a small bowl. Make sure it's microwavable. So after we add all of our spices, we are going to add 1/4 of a cup of lime and orange juices and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So there's 1 and there's 2. And that's just 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. What we're going to do is just go ahead and put our grilled chicken from the freezer. It's still frozen. I just pulled it out a couple minutes ago. Throw some chicken in this marinade. Now, if you're using a regular chicken breast, if you have a kitchen, you just want to swipe each of the chicken breasts with this marinade and soak them in there. If you want it to be really good and soak it a lot longer, you can soak it for 20 minutes and throw it in the fridge. That's also good. Now what I'm going to do is throw this in the microwave for however long the chicken says to cook, and we'll make sure that we cover it so it doesn't spill over. So let me grab a paper towel. And this chicken says to cook for 3 to 5 minutes. We're going to cook it for 3 minutes because we're also going to add the onions and the peppers. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to keep an eye on it just because it's in the marinade. So next we're going to take it out and add our onions and green peppers. Now be careful because whatever kind of bowl you use might be hot. It's been in here for 3 to 5 minutes, so take this out. And this is basically what goes in the inside of our fajitas. So we'll go ahead and stick that in the microwave for just a couple minutes, or maybe a minute, just to kind of warm up the onions and green peppers. We'll see you next time on Campus Cooking with Chelsea.
Thanks for that delicious recipe. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Our next segment is called Do You Know? Today we will find out if you know who this inspirational custodian is.
Do you know who this is?
Not at all.
No, I don't. Do you know who this man is?
I feel I should know him, but I don't.
Do you know John Tucci?
Do you know this man?
Yeah, it's John Tucci.
Yep, that's John Tucci.
Can you tell me who this is?
The Don Tucci. John Tucci.
Well, I thank God to have wonderful parents. You know, you grew up with having such loving parents, and that's where it begins. I mean, if you have parents that they teach you to be that example to people. They said that's the most inspirational way that you can inspire other people is by your parents and them learning to show the love and kindness that they taught you to others. It's you don't have to talk about it, but it's the way your actions are, whether you're helping the poor, helping the sick, helping at churches, or you're praying with people. It's been astonishing that you learn it from there, and then I learned it from growing up in the Swickley area. Very close, family-oriented area with a lot of very loving people, and when you have that small town feel to it, it makes it very special, just like Robert Morris. Even though it continues to grow, and it's a great school, it still has that small feel to it where a lot of people know each other.
Born on November 21st, 1963.
Graduated from Quaker Valley High School.
His hobbies include singing and giving back to the community.
His occupation is maintenance and groundskeeper right here at Robert Morris.
You can always find Tucci singing at various colonial games.
Well, that's about all the time we have today. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Campus Connection. I'm Channing Frampton. This is Emily, and we'll be seeing you next time. Have a great day.